Hey everyone, Tyson the Subaru Specialist from Subaru Print Storage here, and today I have the pleasure of going through the 2025 Subaru Crosstrek Wilderness in the Alpine green with all of you. So this is probably the most popular color, even more so than the Geyser blue, in the Wilderness Crosstrek, and this is the most off-road oriented Crosstrek Subaru's ever produced. Obviously there's a few aesthetic differences in terms of cladding and color scheme on the Wilderness, but it's the same size as every other Crosstrek out there. So you come around to the front, give you that front three-quarter view. We've got 9.3 inches of minimum ground clearance, so up from the standard 8.7 you find on the other Crosstreks. Same headlights as the other Crosstreks, those smaller, more angular designed LED steering responsive high beams, or steering responsive headlights with auto headlights, which will turn your high beams off if you catch up to someone or someone's coming the other way. A la Wilderness, we get the 6 LED forward-facing Gatling gun style fog lights, and of course a lot of cladding on the front of it. That's an area that gets typically beat up by rocks, dirt, stones, road debris, especially when off-road. We've got this anodized copper cover, and you can remove that, and you have one on the other side here, and you can insert the eye bolt for recovering your own vehicle or recovering someone else's, using it as a tie-off for kayaks or something. We've got a different front grille than the standard Crosstreks, a little bit more hexagonal design in their honeycomb shape, and of course one of the most visually striking things you notice on them, that matte black hood decal decal sticker, whatever you want to call it. And this has a practical application. It's matte and it is designed to reduce sun glare into the driver's face, especially when ascending a steep hill. So I didn't think that it would actually make a difference, but surprisingly it does. This is powered by a 2.5 liter 4-cylinder Boxer engine. Get 182 horsepower out of it. It's very, very peppy, especially for a vehicle of this size. Quite a bit of get up and go in these. Cladding continues from the bumper and up around the wheel well. Kind of gives it a faux flare. It does stick out a little bit from the body, which is nice. We get the exclusive 17-inch matte black alloy wheels, and with all the Wilderness you get the Yokohama Geolander ATs. So it's more aggressive than an all-season, but it's not the most aggressive all-terrain out there. They are actually 3-peak mountain snowflake rated. They are legal to drive year-round. Not as good as a dedicated set of winters, but you're legal. You get Wilderness badges. You get 3 of them on the exterior of the vehicle. We get gray plastic caps, so they're not body color, not painted. These stick out from the body, more likely to get beat up, especially off-road. Integrated turn signals, and we've got more cladding along the bottom, quite a bit, and that's again in an area that would typically have rocks, stones, dirt, debris thrown up at it. And of course, anodized copper highlight Crosstrek. As we go to the back, it actually extends up onto the rear door, and then fuel door, rear passenger side. If the driver door is locked, a pin shoots out of there, locks in there, and when you unlock it, the pin obviously retracts and you can open this. So no built-in switch inside the car by the driver door for that. New style headlights. I really like how they wrap around the back of the Crosstrek. I think that they look fantastic. The rear bumper, again, cladding comes up. We've got improved departure and approach angles on the bumpers of the Wilderness Crosstrek. More anodized copper covers for tow hook locations, and we have Subaru debossed into the rear bumper. Give you that. Look, I really, really like the rear end of the Crosstrek, and I think my favorite view of the Crosstrek, especially on the Wilderness, that rear three-quarter view. I think those taillights look phenomenal. I think the bumper looks phenomenal. We have backup sensors integrated into the rear bumper, and they'll actually apply the brakes if things are going to hit something in reverse between speeds of 1 and 15 kilometers an hour. We've got another Wilderness badge, and then to open it, right between these 2 stars, little rubber switch. We've got our backup camera with our cleaner. I'll show you guys that in the inside. And we have a deceptively large amount of storage in the back of the Crosstrek. Tall, wide, and deep, way more than people expect. Nice privacy cover. Easy to retract. This is actually very easy to remove. It's just a telescopic piece, and you can just pull it right out if you don't need it, or if you have taller objects that need to be fit in here. Get the Wilderness cargo tray. It's got a good lip around the edge, help contain any liquids or spills. We've got cup/bottle holders on each side for tailgating. Yes, that is actually what they were There are 4, I was told that at Subaru training on the Wilderness Crosstrek. We've got grocery bag hooks at the top on both sides. Halogen cargo light will shut off when we close the hatch. And we have some nice hard mount physical tie downs in the front corners there. Now underneath this tray, we've got a false floor, spare tire, and your jack, your eye bolt for recovery, all the tools you need to change tire, which I hope none of you ever need to use. In the hatch itself, LED cargo light, that'll shut off when we close the hatch, and we have an easy close hatch. Something that I didn't point out there, we've got this little secret pin code access. You can set a pin so you can access your driver door even with the vehicle without your key, and you can lock your key inside. I do have videos showing how to do that, and I'll include that in the video description below. Up top, we've got anodized copper front and back end caps on these roof rails. You can get crossbars and carry stuff on the roof. It's not uncommon to see tules, ski boxes, bike racks on the top of these. And that's kind of what Subaru had in mind with these Crosstreks, rooftop tents even. Second row, we've got a ton of passenger room, good headroom, good legroom. Taller people will fit in the back comfortably. And the seating material in this is not cloth, but it's not leather. This is StarTech soft touch all-weather upholstery, and it's a Subaru-made product, 20% recycled plastic, the rest is synthetic, easy to wipe down, easy to clean. I actually find this material the most comfortable myself, and of course fold-down armrest with integrated cup holders if there's only 1 or 2 passengers. We do have very easy access to the latch system, the lower anchors and tethers for children, for car seats. Out of the center console, we have 2 USB ports to keep everyone connected on those longer trips, matte back pocket on the rear of the front passenger seat. And then we have this textured step right here. They want you using this as a step if you're loading something on the roof instead of standing on the tire, because 1, the tire actually sits inside the fender. You're not gonna get as much of your foot on that as you will over there. And 2, if I'm standing on the tire, if I'm dead center, I'm right at the back of the rack system. The rack can't be installed there. Over here, has to be here. So I'll probably end up leaning, potentially put myself off balance, put myself in a precarious situation. And Subaru's all about safety, so that's why they've done that. We have that little slot there, and I get asked about that all the time. That's what this extra side impact crash safety bar locks into, and that is designed to reduce chance of intrusion into the passenger cab in the event of a side collision. So Subaru's all about safety. Hard touch door card, soft touch armrest. We've got the anodized copper contrast stitching. We have that on the seats too. I didn't point that out, but it is there. That is the highlight color in the Wilderness. Got a little bit of storage with a bottle holder and child locks. Give you that side in the sun. I think it's an absolutely spectacular looking vehicle. They're a blast to drive. Very much like a go-kart. It is a proximity key, so long as you have the key on your person within 46 inches, touch the lines and you can lock it. Won't do it while it's running. And then to unlock it, all you do is you put your hand in the handle. Again, key has to be within 46 inches. Front door card looks very, very similar to that of the rear, except the door card itself is soft touch in addition to the armrest. We've got 2 front auto windows, regular power windows for the rear, and window lock if you don't want someone playing with your windows. Your power mirror adjustment, a little bit more storage with a bottle holder, and in the Wilderness, we do get the upgraded Harman Kardon audio system. Phenomenal audio system. The driver's seat is power, including lumbar, and it's the same seating material up front as it is in the second row, that StarTech. We just have Wilderness debossed onto the headrest, and these seats are specially designed to put you in a less fatiguing position while you're driving longer distances, so you'll be more alert for longer periods of time and more rested at the end of a long day of driving, resulting in less accidents. We have the scroll wheel for the brightness of our gauges, and then on the inside here, bottom left of the steering column, hook your thumb, and we've got tilt and telescopic. You can adjust it to drivers of varying height, leg, and arm lengths. This is a leather-wrapped, heated steering wheel, faint orange light when it's heated. It does not heat at the top. Between the seams, it does not heat. Everywhere else that you're kind of supposed to have your hands, it will heat. Gets pretty cooking, it's nice. On the left-hand side of the steering wheel, we have our Bluetooth and audio controls, accept calls, hang up or decline calls, issue voice commands, or access Google Assistant or Siri. Really easy to use. We've got our volume, left and right. This toggle used to be volume, but that now changes. Our little upper display gives us a different piece of information each time that we click it. And if we go past the one we want, you just press the other direction, and it just goes in a big loop. Very easy to use. Source switches from AM to FM to satellite to USB to Bluetooth, whatever music source you're listening to, and that allows you to switch between presets or go to the next song. We do have paddles, downshift and upshift. Manually select your own gear if you want, even with the automatic CVT. We have adaptive cruise and lane centering. Both of these use these 3 black boxes, these color stereo EyeSight cameras, to look for cyclists, road lines, pedestrians, and other vehicles on the road. These are responsible for automatic emergency braking, which results in a 10% discount on your basic insurance here in BC. And actually, this new 3rd wide-angle mono camera that they've added has increased the field of view for the EyeSight left to right quite substantially. And actually, speaking of visibility, good visibility for a vehicle this size, especially with the back end that this has. Very, very comfortable to look through. So adaptive cruise, you've got it on, you get an image of the Crosstrek there, and you'll notice there's 4 bars ahead of it, all the way down to 1. That is the follow distance behind the vehicle ahead of you that you will follow at if you catch up while using cruise control. So 100 kilometers an hour, when you set your speed, it'll tell you right there, those 3 horizontal lines will change to the speed you've set, and you set your speed by pulling down. If you catch up, it will give you an audible if you want it to, and it'll show a vehicle there. You'll follow at a safe distance. 100 kilometers an hour, 4 bars, results in a follow distance of roughly 150 to 180 feet. Good safe distance. You can follow closer if you'd like. Each time you press this down arrow, the bars decrease, so you can follow closer if you'd like. If you catch up to someone going 100 and they start slowing down to 70, you'll slow down to 70 and you'll get a little closer to them. It's a ratio. Now, lane centering, when that's active, you get the image of the steering wheel there. Above 60 kilometers an hour, if the EyeSight cameras can see the road lines, whether that's one or both sides, those gray lines on whichever side they can see will illuminate the same white as the adaptive cruise. And after that's engaged, it'll actually give you gentle steering input to help keep you in the center of your lane. Not an around town thing, admittedly, more for highway long distance trips, and it works fantastically with the adaptive cruise. Way less fatigued at the end of the day of driving using that. It's great. Intelligent and sport drive modes. So right now I have X-mode turned on, which does not allow you to choose between modes, but when I'm in regular intelligent, I can press the S and you'll notice that yellow line's a little bit more aggressive. You'll go faster sooner, sit at a higher RPM, use more fuel, but it's for more spirited driving. We have an 11.6-inch touchscreen infotainment system, but they're kind of broken into 3 portions. Top portion, we always have our outside thermometer, we always have our clock. We're on the X-mode screen. X-mode is like 4x4, 4 low in a pickup. We've got snow and dirt, and when you do that, it shows X-mode. You get the little rough terrain guy there, and you get the downhill descent control icon. Then deep snow and mud, which allows you to chew yourself out of that sticky situation you found yourself in. Also deactivates traction control, so you can chew yourself out, allows for excess wheel spin. And those work up to 40 kilometers an hour. After that, it kicks out and goes back to regular all-wheel drive, as that's much more efficient. We've got weather as part of your satellite radio trial. We've got widgets, water temp, oil temp, and you can change these. And if you've watched any of my other videos, you'll know I always do the same ones. They're the ones that most people set them to. Then we have what we're listening to. Main portion of the screen, we've got physical volume and tuning knobs, which are very nice to have. Radio, media, and phone are pretty self-explanatory. Radio is AM, FM, Sirius XM. Media is anything that isn't integrated into the vehicle. So USB, Bluetooth, auxiliary, anything like that. Phone allows you to hook up your phone to Bluetooth. Then under apps, we have wireless Android Auto and Apple CarPlay. So after you hook your device up, it'll ask you if you want to connect. You do, and you'll get to use that. You gain access to the My Subaru app after the vehicle's registered in your name. And then when you put it in reverse, backup camera pops up, rear assist braking's on, parking sensors are on, shows you the top of the bumper there, so you have something to relate to, and you can clean the backup camera from inside the vehicle. Best thing ever for our sloppy winters, or if you're driving down dirt roads quite a bit, it is very, very beneficial. We have car info, you can set maintenance reminders, see the angle you're at, off-road screen. This home button always takes us here. You can turn off the display if you don't like it. You've got auto vehicle hold, which is a brake holder for construction, drive through rush hour traffic. You can turn off traction control if you're on accord, and you can add additional shortcuts if there's somewhere in the settings that you go often. Lower portion, you can deactivate auto start stop. You can activate auto vehicle hold. You can hook up to 5 devices in total to the Crosstrek. We're not going to do that right now. You can set driver profiles, and then if you go under the vehicle, it gives you some vehicle control, some driving assistance settings, and actually I'll show you. We do have blind spot detection on our side mirrors, so we've got the little nub. kind of see it, and it's going to illuminate orange when someone's in your blind spot on the corresponding side. So it's not something to rely on, but it is a nice aid. Below that, we have our climate controls. We have physical buttons here. It is dual zone, goes up or down in 0.5 degrees Celsius increments, or you can click on the screen, you can drag, you can click, you can sync it back to driver controlled, control where you want your airflow, if you want AC, max AC, recirc, all of that, very easy to access. And if you don't touch it for a little bit, it'll actually just disappear, so you don't have to worry about that. We have fan strength buttons, hard to miss. Below that, 2 USBs, an auxiliary, and a wireless charger. Now, if you don't want it charging, you just turn it off. Your phone is going to get warm as it's a 10-watt wireless charger. That's just something to be aware of, but it is nice to get that little bit of charge. Automatic CVT with the manual mode that I was mentioning earlier. We do have those paddles. You can manually select your own gears. Heated seats, high and low for both driver and passenger. Very easy to use. If you have those turned on and use the My Subaru app to remote start your vehicle, the heated seats will turn on as well. Electronic parking brake. Pull up to activate, foot on the brake and push down to deactivate. If your foot is not on the brake, it doesn't go off. And it actually tells you up here to press the brake pedal. Foot down, there you go. Cup holders are offset. We have drink raisers, so if you have a tall drink, you remove this and it sits down there a little bit more securely. It's not going to wiggle around as much. Or if you have a smaller medium drink, you leave that in there and you're not just going to be grabbing it by the lid. You can actually grab some of the cup. 12-volt power point. Got a little bit of storage there. Super soft touch armrest, and what I mean by that is it's the same material as the seat. Very, very nice. And there's a ton of storage in there. No power points in the armrest, but there's a place to run cords through, so if you've got a power bank or something in there, you're set. You're not crushing it when you have your armrest down. Up top, we have our SOS and roadside assistance buttons, part of the 3-year trial to the My Subaru connected services you get with most new Subarus. We've got our map lights. We've got our tilt and slide sunroof buttons. There's a manual shade and a regular size sunroof, but it does the job. Now, I didn't show you guys under the hood, so I get asked about hood release quite a bit by clients. Down here, I'll show you guys. It's powered by a 2.5 liter 4-cylinder boxer engine, 182 horsepower, very, very peppy. And every Subaru, when you walk up to the front, put your hand into the right of the Subaru logo, facing down, move from right to left, and lift. And that right there is the lever that you lift. So this is going to look like pretty much the underside of any Subaru in our lineup right now. 2.5 liter 4-cylinder. And what Subaru's done is everything in yellow is what the average consumer is going to touch during their ownership. Dipstick, oil filler cap, right next to your top mount oil filter, coolant, washer fluid, brake fluid, and you have really easy access to the battery. It's not stuck in the wheel well or in the trunk or anything like that. Easy to access. Yeah, pretty standard. You have really easy access to replace the air filter if that's something you want to do. And then to close it, I just like to drop it. I don't like to put my hand on it and push down. It feels like I'm going to dent it. I know that's probably not the case, but better safe than sorry. So I'll give you guys that final 360 walk around of the Crosstrek Wilderness in the Alpine green. Sharp looking car, to say the least. One of my favorite vehicles in the lineup. I know there's a little bit of sun glare there, sorry about that, guys. And then that rear 3/4 view is probably my favorite view of the Crosstrek. They're like driving a street legal go-kart. Best winters I've ever had have been spent driving a Crosstrek. Tons of room, very, very practical, excellent on fuel. So thank you for sticking with me for my walkthrough of the 25 Crosstrek Wilderness in the Alpine green. I'm Tyson, the Subaru specialist from Subaru Print Storage. If you guys have any questions about this car behind me, any of the features in it, any of the functions, or anything to do with Subaru in general, please put it in the comments below. I love hearing from you guys and answering your questions. If you're in British Columbia or willing to make the trip to northern British Columbia to purchase a Subaru, please reach out to me directly. I would love to help you find your perfect vehicle. Thank you for watching, everyone. We'll talk soon.